lesson on the Louisiana Purchase. So we're going to start off our activity with a Think Puzzle Explore. And this is what our Think Puzzle Explore worksheet actually looks like, okay? So I want you to take a moment and look at the map of the United States and tell me, what do you think the yellow portion is? So that yellow shaded area, what do you think that is? Next, what are you puzzled about? So what am I puzzled about? So what puzzles you about that yellow shaded area? So tell me what you think the yellow area is. What actually puzzles you about the yellow area? And the next portion of our warm-up is how can we actually explore this? Okay, so how can we learn more about this? So how can we explore this information, okay, from our handout that we have? Okay, so what do you guys think the yellow portion is? So what is that yellow shaded area? Somebody, what do you think that is? What is the yellow area?
The Louisiana Purchase.
Okay, so that is the Louisiana Purchase, okay? Anything else that you think you know about this area, the yellow area?
It's sold for 10 cents.
Okay. What puzzles you about it? So what questions might you have about the yellow area?
It doesn't include all of Louisiana as we know it today.
Okay, so it's more than just the Louisiana, okay? Because as of today, we know Louisiana is just being this small area here, but we have additional areas as well. Anything else puzzles you? Any other questions that you might have? Okay, so how can we explore this? How can we learn more about this particular yellow area? How can we learn more about it?
Google it.
Okay, Google. What else can we do?
Ask for help.
Ask for help. Okay.
Road trip.
Road trip. Okay. If you have a textbook, you could actually read additional information. Or you can do as we're going to do today. We're going to actually go through a quick presentation, and I'm going to give you some additional information that you might not know about the Louisiana area. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So as I'm going through on your explore portion of your graphic organizer, we're going to fill in some notes. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. So Louisiana Purchase, of course, we all know this is a huge land purchase from Thomas Jefferson in 1803. And a lot of people probably remember from school or they've heard before, Jefferson bought this land from France for $15 million. So let's look at some events leading up to the Louisiana Purchase, okay? So New Orleans, the port of New Orleans was no longer under the control of Spain. And remember that the United States had to have access to the port of New Orleans. It was vital to their economy for the farmers living in the western portion of the United States. If you even think back to when there were colonies and we were broken up into those regions, New England, Middle, and Southern, and we had people moving into the backcountry area, the only way for those western farmers to actually get their items to market was to ship it down the Mississippi River and to store it at the port of New Orleans, okay? So, New Orleans was no longer under control of Spain. When George Washington was president, remember that Pinckney actually went to Spain and he negotiated a treaty with them to have access to New Orleans and the Mississippi River. Okay? As I just mentioned, it was vital to the U.S. economy. And Jefferson is going to send representatives to try to actually buy the port of New Orleans. To his surprise, Napoleon is going to actually offer all of that territory for $15 million, okay? Which was actually a huge deal for them. So, I have the question here. Why do you think Napoleon is going to actually want to sell this land? So why do you think Napoleon wants to sell it? So why is Napoleon going to sell that area?
Because it's too far for them to come and check on it.
It's too far for them to go check on it? Okay. Anything else you can think of?
Need the money.
He needed the money. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple of reasons. So Napoleon is going to need the money to actually finance his European war. Napoleon is going to actually have plans to expand his European empire into North America, but after Haiti is going to win its independence with the help of Toussaint Louverture, it's going to kind of ruin those plans. So let's take a little look at the Haitian rebellion. So Haiti actually fought to break away from France. They were to win their independence. And as I just mentioned, Toussaint Louverture is going to assist them with that. We also stated that Napoleon needed the money to actually finance his European war. Remember that they were still fighting with Great Britain, so he actually needed some money. And then our last part, of course, is that the United States had a strong desire to have access to that land. Thomas Jefferson is going to actually buy it for $15 million from France, okay? And it doubled the size of the United States. So if you think back to the map we were looking at the very beginning, that yellow portion doubled the size of the United States, okay? So what was the dilemma for Thomas Jefferson? Well, first of all, Jefferson didn't actually know if it was legal. Because if you remember, Jefferson was a person who believed in a strict interpretation of the Constitution. And he said if it wasn't written word for word in the Constitution, you could not actually do it. And the Constitution did not give the president permission to actually purchase land. So he did not know if it was constitutional or not. But he actually bought it anyway because he wanted an economy based off of small farms, okay? Okay, so next thing we're going to actually do is we're going to actually look at a primary source document. So if you look at the letter that I have here, it's actually a letter that Thomas Jefferson is going to write to Congress. So we're going to go through and we're going to read through this information together. Is there a volunteer to read this? Okay. A volunteer? I'll read it then. Okay. So, to the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States, in execution of the act of the present session of Congress for taking possession of Louisiana, as ceded to us by France, and for the temporary government thereof, Governor Claiborne of Mississippi Territory and General Wilkinson were appointed commissioners to receive possession. They proceeded with such regular troops as had been assembled at Fort Adams from nearest pass, and with some militia of the Mississippi Territory to New Orleans, to be prepared for anything unexpected which might arise out of the transaction. A respectable body of militia was ordered to be at the readiness in the states of Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee, and part of those Tennessee was to move to the Natchez. No occasion, however, arose for their services. Our commissioners, on their arrival at New Orleans, found the providence already delivered by the commissioners of Spain to that of France, who delivered it over to them on the 20th day of December, as appeared by their declaratory act accompanying this. Governor Claiborne, being duly invested with the powers heretofore exercised by the governor in attendant of Louisiana, assumed the government on the same day, and for the maintenance of law and order, immediately issued the proclamation and address now communicated. On this important acquisition, so favorable to the immediate interests of our Western citizens, are auspicious to the peace and security of the nation in general, which adds to our country territory so extensive and fertile, and to our citizens, new brothers, to partake of the blessings of freedom and self-government. I offer to Congress and our country my sincere congratulations. Thomas Jefferson, dated January 16, 1804. So this is actually a letter that Jefferson wrote to Congress talking about the possession of the Louisiana Territory. Okay, so you have highlighters on your paper, on your table, and you also have your papers there. So if you take a moment, use the highlighters if needed to go back through, highlight key information, and answer the questions that go with that primary source document. Okay, so we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to do that. If you have any questions, raise your hand and I can come around and try to assist you. I'll finish, we can go ahead, we can go through those questions and answer those really quick, okay? All right, so, Simone, would you read the first question for me, please? Give me your answer that you have.
When was the letter written? Who wrote it? Who was the intended audience? The letter was written in 1804. Thomas Jefferson wrote it, and the intended audience was the Senate and the House of Representatives.
Okay, so that letter was written in 1804, in January 1804. The intended audience was Congress, our House of Representatives, and our Senate. Okay, well, Shan, would you read question number 2 for me, please?
For what purpose was the letter written to acquire Louisiana territory?
Okay, so it was written to inform Congress that they had actually taken possession and acquired the Louisiana territory. Okay, would you read the next question for me, please?
Which forces had Jefferson sent to Natchez to be ready for anything unexpected? And he sent the Mississippi militia.
Okay, so he had sent militia there. So he had sent militia there to actually to the Natchez area. Okay, they were from Tennessee, but he had them there in Natchez, Mississippi. And he also had militia on standby as well from the states of Ohio and Kentucky. Okay, next question.
Which country legally possessed Louisiana when the United States bought it from Spain?
Okay, so when the United States bought that in
France.
1803,
Spain.
when they bought it from France, who actually owned the land?
Spain.
Spain. Okay, and a lot of people don't even kind of really know that or remember that information. But if you kind of think back to when we were talking about the French and Indian War, as a thank you for helping France fight against Great Britain, they gave them that Louisiana territory. Napoleon had secretly been negotiating with Spain to actually acquire that territory again. Okay, so you think back when George Washington was president, and we had Pinckney's Treaty, and he negotiated Pinckney's Treaty actually with Spain. So Napoleon is now trying to get that land back from them because he wants to expand his empire into North America. Okay, next question.
On what day did France take possession of Louisiana? 12/20/1803.
Okay, so he took possession of it on the 20th of December, 1803. And I believe the next question is, how long did France actually hold on to the land before they turned it over to the United States? How long was that?
1 day.
1 day. So they turned it over to them the exact same day. Okay, what's our next question?
By what possesses did the United States demonstrate that it had taken possession of the territory?
Okay, so how did they demonstrate that they had taken possession of that?
They wrote out a proclamation.
Okay, so General Claiborne, it tells you in that primary source document that he was actually invested with the powers to issue that proclamation. Okay, so he issued that proclamation, letting them know that they had now acquired possession of that land. Okay, and our last question.
Why did Governor Claiborne post this proclamation in 3 languages? He posted for the purpose of Spain, France, and U.S. so they can all read it.
Okay, so why did he post it in 3 different languages? Because you had 3 different countries involved and they spoke 3 different languages. The United States, English, France, French, and of course Spain, Spanish. Okay, so let's move on to our next activity. So what we're going to do really quick, if you kind of just flip your papers over, we kind of quiz you on the information we went through on the PowerPoint to see what you know. So we're going to do a Plickers activity. Okay, so locate your number for your card. You either have card number 1 or card number 2. And you have the A, B, C, D choices on there. So if you think the correct answer choice is A, you're going to hold A at the top. If you think it's B, you would turn it so it shows B, C, D. Okay? Any question on how we're going to do this? And make sure you hold your card up, and I'm going to actually scan your information. So give me just a second to set up my screen for that. Hey, can everyone see the questions fine on here? Okay, so our first question asks, Which area was purchased from France by President Jefferson in 1803? Okay. This shaded area here is number 1. This area is shaded 2. This is 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay.
Which shaded area is?
Okay, so this is 3. This is 1. This area here is 2. This area here is 4. This is 5. And this is 6. Okay, so okay, you have both answers recorded, and as you can see, our correct answer choice is going to be answer choice B. Okay, right here. Okay, so let's go to our next question. Change this to the graph. And at the end, I'll be able to actually print out your answers to see who answered correctly. Okay? So our next question says, what was one effect of the acquisition of this area by the United States? Is it A, its annexation led to a conflict with both France and Great Britain? B, it led to violence over the issue of the westward extension of slavery? C, it doubled the area of the United States and gave it control of the Mississippi River? Or is it D, it caused a border dispute with Mexico leading to the U.S.-Mexican War? Okay. So if you hold your card up so I can scan your answers. You have one answer recorded and need one more. Okay, both answers recorded. Okay, very good. Everyone answer C, the correct answer choice, as we see, is going to be C. It doubled the size of the United States. Okay. Next question, and our last one. What delimited Jefferson encounter with the purchase of the territory? His agrarian philosophy for the economy. B, desire to remain neutral in the war between France and Great Britain. C, the constitutionality, a strict constructionist. Or D, funding from Congress. So what was the dilemma that Jefferson had? One answer recorded. Next answer. Okay, 2 answers. Okay, and our correct answer choice is C, because he didn't know if it was actually constitutional for him to purchase the land, because the Constitution did not actually say or give the president permission to actually buy the land. Okay, so excellent job. So we're going to end our activity with our Kagan review chips. So if you will work as partners, and you're just going to pull a chip, flip it out, and I'm just going to try to observe and see if you have any questions on that. Okay. Excellent job, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.